Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our special coverage. During a visit to Aswan, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi inaugurated several national and strategic projects in the field of electricity and power, including the Binban complex for solar energy, the largest power generation complex in the Middle East. We have more details in this report. Sisi on Monday said we are witnessing a leap into the future as he was briefed on electricity and power ministry achievements in Upper Egypt during a visit to Aswan. The president said celebrating these achievements is meant to assert our keenness on preserving the nation's construction drive and not just for showing off, adding that a citizen has the right to know the huge amount of spending made in the electricity sector. President Sisi, meanwhile, inspected the Binban complex for solar energy, the largest clean power generation complex in the Middle East, established in partnership with the private sector and in collaboration with specialized international expertise. Binban is a leading infrastructure facility in Egypt. During the visit to Aswan, the president also inaugurated several national and strategic projects in Upper Egypt in the field of electricity via video conference. The inauguration ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Electricity Mohammed Shakir, and several other ministers and senior officials. Meanwhile, addressing the inauguration ceremony, Minister of Electricity Mohammed Shakir said that the Binban Clean Power Generation Complex is one of the largest such generators on regional and international levels. He pointed out that production capacity of Binban Complex is 1,465 megawatts. The electricity minister also reviewed his ministry's efforts to boost electrical power capacity and overcome shortage all over Upper Egypt. He explained that 12,000 megawatts have been added to the area's grid and a cost of £55 billion within the recent 7 years. The minister said an urgent plan that was adopted for increasing power capacity by accelerating the construction of 3 power stations succeeded in generating 3,636 megawatts in just 8 months and a half at a cost of £47 billion. He described this achievement as unprecedented. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Several projects inaugurated in Upper Egypt, in Aswan in particular. Today, the Binban power station, and yesterday, the president was in Toshka inaugurating agricultural projects in Toshka. A week full of presidential activities dedicated especially to Upper Egypt in order to highlight the importance of those mega projects inaugurated by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Upper Egypt. We're very much honored to have with us here in the studio Her Excellency Ambassador Soad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Always a pleasure having you with us, Ambassador Shalaby. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, today the President was inaugurating power stations in Binban, and also via video conference the President inaugurated several electricity projects. How do you see the importance of those projects?
Well, as you know, that the Upper Egypt was marginalized historically during many years. But during the past 7 years, there had been a lot of concentration on mega projects that had been highlighted now by the President in the past 3 days. He had been going from Asyut to Toshka to now Aswan, and on inaugurating many projects that will raise the standard of living of the people there. As you know, it is only 30% of the Egyptians are living there, and although it is two-thirds of the space of the area of Egypt is in Upper Egypt. So it is very important to concentrate on urbanization projects. And this is the first time that we hear a lot of concentration, that a lot of work has been done during the past 7 years. And now we are reaping the fruits of these projects. Of course, the electricity projects, it had been announced today that the electricity that has been generated is 14 times what the high dam was generating before. So these projects are reaping very high quality and energy for industrial and agricultural use projects. Also, it is important that we mention here that all the electricity that we are generating is going to be exported to our friendly countries, like for Sudan in the south, for Libya in the west, and also to Cyprus and to Greece.
Yes.
And this is very optimistic project that we are working on it. And it had been announced by the Minister of Electricity this morning.
Definitely. 3 days of inaugurations of mega projects that are vital to the Egyptian citizens, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, and we have seen those projects actually covering very important sectors in the country. The infrastructure and the roads, that was on Saturday. We have seen yesterday agricultural projects in Tushka, and today in the field of electricity. So covering infrastructure, agriculture and electricity in just 3 days, and highlighting the importance of these projects not only to the citizens of Upper Egypt, but to the Egyptian citizens at large. How do you see that?
Well, this is what development is, and there is a very focus on, very important focus for these projects to raise the standard of living, and also to develop the whole cities. The people themselves, they want to live properly, and this is why there is this presidential initiative, Decent Life, for the people. It's for everybody. It's not only for the underprivileged, but it's made to reach all the people in order to live in a better standard of living. And as you said, the projects are including already, because they are mega projects. It's exactly the way that any country in the world is doing decentralization. So they are creating mega cities and creating mega projects with roads, with canals, with agricultural products, with agricultural, projects, and also industrial projects. Why? In order to increase the job creation, to create more jobs, and to have more production for the Upper Egypt, to become more productive for the whole of the country.
All part of the development process.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Actually, the President inaugurated the national projects, which falls within the activities of the Upper Egypt Week, part of the state's efforts to achieve an integrated development in Upper Egypt, and offer full services for the people and provide direct and indirect job opportunities. And we have more details in this report. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said on Saturday a large number of projects have been implemented by the state in Upper Egypt across different sectors, with a total cost of 6.2 trillion Egyptian pounds. This came during the opening of several road and transport projects in Upper Egypt via video conference. The projects also included the development and expansion of the first phase of the Western Upper Egypt Desert Road between Cairo and Minya, with a length of 230 kilometers, in addition to the duplication of the Safega Qusayr Marsa Alam Road with a length of 200 kilometers and 3 sledge bridges, the Baliana Bridge in Sohag with a length of 1,834 meters, and the Directorate Bridge in Beni Suef with a length of 540 meters. The Girgir Bridge in Sohag is 1,300 meters long, and the bridge above the Tushka spillway in Aswan is 450 meters long. President Sisi explained that there are more projects that will be implemented in different governorates of the Republic, and that Egypt is moving strongly in the field of development, and that we need to support the private sector and companies. This comes within the framework of the state's efforts to achieve an integrated development and service renaissance for the people of Upper Egypt, and to provide direct and indirect job opportunities, as the openings include a number of industrial complexes, access and roads, especially the transverse access on the Nile. President Sisi listened to a detailed explanation from Minister of Transport Kamil al-Wazir on developing roads and restoring the efficiency of roads in Upper Egypt. He said that projects inaugurated on Saturday amounted to 11 projects at a cost of about 18.155 million Egyptian pounds. During the inauguration, President Sisi offered the three owners of the three companies, Saida Lem, Hani Tadros, and the General Nile Company for Roads and Bridges, headed by Al-Wazir, to receive 25% of the value of the project and finish it within a year, and they all agreed. The president also warned against trespassing by building on both sides of the new axes that are being created, and directed to prevent construction on both sides of the axes at a depth of 1 kilometer, but he stressed that the existing buildings would not be removed. He also assigned the government to take the necessary measures to prevent construction on the areas, and assigned the armed forces and the Ministry of Interior to follow up on this. The United Nations has listed the Upper Egypt Local Development Program as the best practice to achieving results towards 2030 SDGs. The UN said that the program supports the government's efforts to develop Upper Egypt, where development has lagged behind, by improving the local business environment. This has spurred private sector-led job creation and strengthened local government capacity to deliver infrastructure and services. The program provides results-based financing in Sohab, Qina, Minya, and Asyut governorates, integrating citizen and business engagement for greater local accountability. In 2021, the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs listed it as an example of best practice among development initiatives aimed at meeting the universal targets set out in the UN Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. The program has been also included as a key contributor to the government's programming for the fiscal year 2018-2019, fiscal year 2021-2022. Egypt's population passed 100 million in early 2020, with one-third of it in Upper Egypt. Yet the region falls behind the rest of the country in terms of economic growth, generating employment, connectivity to markets, and access to quality services. Since its launch, the government has sought to redress this lagging development. The program has financed infrastructure and services responsive to local needs, introduced an integrated approach to local competitiveness, and enhanced citizen and business engagement through a participatory process. Citizens, including women and youth, are involved in the selection of investment projects through regular consultation. The World Bank Country Director for Egypt said that the program was creating an environment for evidence-based policy reform and the industrial reforms essential to improving the competitiveness of lagging regions and to empowering local governments to address community needs and priorities. New roads, bridges, access, industrial complexes, agricultural projects in Tushka, and electricity stations, and also a green power generating, a solar power generating plant, the biggest in the Middle East, all inaugurated in just 3 days. A dream come true, a true renaissance for Upper Egypt and for Egyptians at large. Now, Ambassador Shalaby, how do you see integrating Upper Egypt development to the development process and the rest of the country?
Well, as you know, we have to really raise the percentage of growth for each year, and to depend only on the upper only the Nile Valley and the Egypt. Yes. You have to integrate the whole of Egypt. That means Upper Egypt has to be included in our development projects.
Yes.
And also, as we said, that the third of the population is living there. Mm-hmm. So that is why there is a budget of 535 billion Egyptian pounds to be spent on these projects that you have mentioned. Mm-hmm. And as you have seen yesterday in Toshka, Toshka had been disappearing for the past years. Now we are starting to reconstruct and digging canals and offering 2 million fidans from palm trees. And we have seen a lot of
wheat as well.
Wheat, and this is very important for Egyptians for the future, because as you know, the population of Egypt is increasing. Yes. And we have to raise the level of people, and also to have a higher rate of growth. Yes. And that is why we have to include all these projects in Upper Egypt, so that we make use of all the Nile Valley.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Well, I'd like to thank you very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Soad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for being with us in this special coverage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hala.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was a special coverage of the activities, the presidential activities that included the inauguration of several electricity power stations in Upper Egypt, in Aswan in particular, including the Bimban solar energy plant. And also we talked about the other projects inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the past 2 days that included the Toshka agricultural projects and the infrastructure projects inaugurated on Saturday. Amhel Al-Hamalawi, many thanks for being with us, and stay tuned. The Hour's top story is coming up next.